Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody here today. Even though it's not a nice blue sky, it's kind of nice to see some clouds and hopefully we might get some snow out of it. So we'll take whatever we can get. First of all, we will start off with Commissioner Johnson giving prayer, and then Commissioner Wright will lead us in the pledge.
Our dear Father in heaven, we are thankful for this day. We're thankful for all of our many blessings. We're grateful to be here as county representatives and as a public, and grateful to live here and grateful for the people we get associated with on a daily basis. We're grateful for this new year and pray that as we make decisions on assignments and other tasks that we will need to take the responsibilities that will best fit our personalities and best benefit the county, that we will be able to guide and direct each of the areas in a way that people may be happy with and will better improve our county business. We're grateful for all of our many blessings and pray for thy Spirit to be with us this day. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please stand and follow me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Those of you that are coming in, if you haven't signed the roll, please sign it and then grab a donut. Find a good place to sit. All right. First off, we need to approve the minutes from the last meeting that was on December 17th. Did somebody have something they want to say? Okay. I don't know who all's got stuff. I noticed one thing. On page 8, line 222. There where it says Commissioner Johnson, there needs to be a space between Johnson and, got that? Okay. Anybody else have anything you want to see added or changed?
I might, if you'll just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Yes, there were a lot of pages to look over.
Just get a sentence for the item between 137 and 146, just describing that it's not formally creating the CRA, it's just authorizing the preparation of a draft CRA.
Where's that at, Elise?
I'm sorry?
I didn't hear where it was at.
Just between lines 137 and 146, just having one sentence in there.
Is her mic not on?
It should be.
It is.
It is, okay.
Page 5, so page 5.
Okay, I'm good.
Line 136 and 137, or did you say 135?
Just for the item, so whether
Now
it's
on.
there we go. Whether it's
Sorry about that.
no, that's fine. Whatever line it's on between 140 and 146, clarifying that it's authorizing the preparation of a draft community reinvestment project area plan and budget instead of just a formal creation. Does that make sense?
Yes. Authorize the draft.
Authorize the preparation of a draft
Yeah,
CRA. That will be fine.
between there.
She's just going to add one sentence.
All right.
Matt? You need to grab a donut.
See, it's really a community reinvestment project area, so let's just say community reinvestment.
On the table are for you if you would
And
like.
then community reinvestment project area plan and. Thank you. Project area, plan and budget. No, just one phrase. Yeah. That's all I've got. That's all I have.
Okay. If there's no more, I'll approve the adoption of the minutes December 17th, 2024 with the changes and corrections that have been made.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from December 17th with the minor changes that have been made. All of those approved, say yes.
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 Yes. Any opposed? Okay, any follow-up items from December 17th? Okay. Next one, 10:05 agenda item is appointment of a new commission chairperson and chairperson pro tempore.
You looking me for a motion? I'll make a motion.
Yeah, you
I
may.
would move that we nominate Trevor Johnson, Commission Chair, for 2025.
So do I step,
I'm fine doing it, but I do feel like Bill would be a better chairperson at this time, and better for the county as a chairperson. So that's, like I said, I'm fine doing it, but if I'm going to do what's right for the county, I would personally put Bill there.
So are you, if I get out fine, I think that there's not a lot of difference, but you have some extra assignments and stuff like that. It might be good for you. I don't know. It depends on the time you have and everything else. If you don't, I would, but my preference is if you're willing to do it, why, I'll be glad to help and glad
Okay.
to do it.
I'm fine doing it. I'm not saying I can't or can't, or can or can't, but
Okay. So I'll continue with my nomination.
okay? So does he second or do I step from the chair?
He can
I
second
could
it.
second it.
He can
I guess.
second it.
Okay,
We want his endorsement, make him second it.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Oh,
I nominate Bill.
Okay, I'll second it.
okay, great. Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Commissioner Johnson as the new chairperson and Commissioner Wright as the pro tempore, however you say that. All of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, I guess you don't take over until after this meeting.
Okay.
What's that?
At least that's how Attorney Finlayson had us do it last year. All right, next, 1010 agenda item, discussion and possible approval of Resolution 25-01-07, a resolution of the Millard County Commission dividing the executive functions of the county commission to individual commissioners.
Yeah, I'll make some comments and then let's have some discussion.
Okay.
I'm not going to make a motion right now, maybe will. We have quite a few assignments and last year we changed everything. You know, I was opposed to that. I didn't think it was the best method. And I'm still kind of feel the same way, that I'm not sure that's the best method. We all have assignments here. Some of them fit us well, some of them don't. I think the goal is to level the assignments that each of them take a specific amount of time, some of them more than others, but I don't think that one commissioner should be spending all his life doing one another commissioner. So if we can do that, obviously we have certain talents and experiences that help. I've looked through my assignments, I don't know about yours, but I would like to discuss a recommendation. We found out that during the year, we can change assignments. So this isn't locked in concrete forever till the millennium. I mean, we can change assignments when something works for us and when something don't. I look at this, I'm not sure there's a real reason right now to change unless someone is saying, hey, this assignment don't work, and if that happens, we can change it anytime. So I'd just like to discuss, I don't know if we need to change right now. You might have some specific things, and I'm all right to discuss them, so.
I can agree with that 100%. I do think there's certain things that are mixed up that probably should go together.
Maybe that's where we need to make the changes, is things that go together and not,
Like the rodeo, should probably be with the fair, because that's who's dealing with it. There's no reason for two of us to
okay? Who's got the fair now? I got the rodeos.
you got the rodeo, I've got the fair.
So do you want the rodeo?
I can take the
You
rodeo.
want- Okay, let's move the rodeo to the fair.
Is there something in your list that you'd like to give to him?
Then don't get there.
Mostly it's just trying to match them up to where.
Yeah, just trying to
where
match
they-
'em up.
Where they go together, so it's, so I. Give me a second.
Is there any others?
I
Vicki?
thought that maybe, since the Meta Board's kind of your baby, that you might want it. And I took the mental health during the year,
You want me to take me to board?
if you want it.
I've worked on it a lot. We've did a lot
I
of
know
things.
you're always very interested in it.
Involved, so I guess that we'll switch me to board to me.
And I've already got the mental health from a few
Yeah,
months
and
ago.
that's a good fit for you. That's better than me.
I don't
can
mind
help
going to Richfield at night, and I know you
So
don't
I
really.
appreciate that, yeah, I would be lost there, so. As we go through these, Trevor will take the rodeo, I'll take the META board. Yeah, what happened last time when we switched them all, Trevor's right, we need to kind of categorize them, is there any more?
Well, that's
Vicki, or
kind
what?
of hard, 'cause both golf course and, I'd say both the golf course and the livestock show probably fall more under, well, I don't know. Kind of falls under, stock show falls probably under the fair more.
Have you got the livestock show? You do?
I have it,
You have it?
but they don't have them at the same time, so I can keep doing
Yeah.
it.
Where's the west rec at?
Yeah,
And that's yours, Trevor, right?
yeah.
Right.
East and West Rec are actually together.
Okay, we just have them separated out on,
It's just separated.
at least on my paper, it just has East Millard rec.
Yeah, I see the east, but I
Yeah,
don't
on
see
the
the
paper,
west.
they're,
It should just be Millard,
Oh, it's down at the bottom
Yeah, it's
of
down
the
at
list.
the bottom.
I'll fix that, and just have one of them, because if I remember, I think it's combined them
Yeah, I think they may as well be together.
yeah, that's something that can be together, so.
you wanna keep it, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
Let's,
sorry, I messed up on my notes, so the Dayton West Rodeo, is that going to?
That's going to Trevor with the fair.
Yeah.
It's going to Commissioner, that's the two we've talked about. And of course, we need to make a motion, but in the motion will be Days of West Rodeo will go to Trevor, and the META board from Commissioner Lyman will come to me. That's the two we've discussed. We don't have a motion yet. Okay.
And do you want me to take,
let's do, Bill, you take the west soil conservation, because you also have the east conservation.
That's a good idea.
Put them together.
Combined.
Put soil conservation, like the rec, I don't,
Yeah,
we've kind of got past that. So combine them and put soil conservation, you don't need to put east or west. Then if it's anything to do with soil conservation, why, they'll all be the same topic.
then it's, no, we're not trying to figure out who's in,
Yeah, we're not trying to figure out who's doing what. so.
Sorry, it was the maintenance that you combined, not recreation, but we'll combine.
I'm just trying to even out the list a little bit. Vicki, would you mind doing the television and that LEPC?
I can do that.
Neither of them take much, but I'm just trying to even them out some.
I've done television, so I know what's going on
Okay,
with
you
that.
getting that? Television, before, television is moving to
And
Vicky.
LEPC.
I got it.
Okay.
So on yours, Trevor, do we have a water conservation district? Should that be moved to the soil conservation, all one thing, or?
I was wondering if we should do that. Both agriculture, they're both gonna,
They're both, yeah, you're, either one, so why don't we do that?
okay,
Maybe,
So
on
water-
Trevor's, you got water conservation district, move that over with the
Water
soil.
/ soil
the
conservation.
Water and soil, you can put water and soil conservation, so if anything comes in there, like,
okay.
we'll put it all in one thing.
Vicki, would you be opposed to trading the Millard County maintenance with something on my list? I feel like the recreation and maintenance should go together. Seems like anytime you do something with the rec, maintenance has to be involved.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. What would you want me to take?
Millard County maintenance will go over with rec. It won't be the same item, but it'll go on the same list. Yeah, just because they kind of go together.
And that's hard because they also do a lot with the livestock show. I don't know, what are your thoughts? It just seems like every time I go to do something with recreation, if maintenance isn't involved. it's
Maintenance goes with
surprising.
recreation, and it also goes with livestock and rodeo.
Yeah,
And you've got them split, but you don't need to put them all together, because that's too much. But-
Yeah,
But anytime you're dealing with the livestock show, which is, you're dealing with maintenance, because you have certain things you gotta do, you got cleanup and that, and anytime you're dealing with rec, you gotta deal with maintenance. Anytime you're dealing with your rodeo, you gotta deal with maintenance. So maintenance really has some responsibility in all those aspects, so, but I don't know if you need to put them all together, you can divide them out.
I mean, I could take recreation, but I don't know if that needs to kind of be with tourism and the fair or not.
Remember, if we get to where we're comfortable, that these can be changed at any time we decide, well, maybe we need to do this a little different, so. We did that last year. We changed some in the middle of the year.
what's your thoughts, Vicki?
Pardon?
You got any thoughts?
I think if you take maintenance, that's going to be too much on yours.
Maybe so too, maybe move it back over, or leave it where it's
Yeah, we've
at.
left it where it's at.
Leave it where it's at. We, can-
We're not moving.
don't move it, leave it where it's at.
Okay.
I can create a new one of these, send it out to you, and you can table till the next meeting.
Yeah.
if you want to.
I'm fine either way, whatever these guys
And
want
it's
to do.
probably, it's probably good there is some cross, just so that then there's two commissioners involved in things, it's not just one, so it probably is a good thing, but it's also hard, because I know I was doing something with rec earlier in the year, and maintenance should have been involved, or I got maintenance involved, but I'm not in charge, wasn't in charge of maintenance, and it makes it just,
Do you want all of that, though? That's a lot.
well, I'd give up some of my stuff. I feel like they should go together, but at the
Well,
same time,
I
it's,
think these assignments don't, as a commissioner, you're like, I got told when I first got in that, I had no business talking to any other supervisor. I actually got told I had no business talking to any other supervisor, only the one I was over. I don't agree with that.
I
Yeah.
don't either.
I
well,
think-
and
I
Vicki
think
wasn't upset that I was
makes
talking to
for-
the maintenance.
For poor management, I think that if the maintenance, you're the primary person, but if the maintenance wants to call me or you or someone else, that's fine, as long as we're all aware. I don't think
Yeah.
that precludes us. Obviously, when we have to make a decision, then that's different, but being able to explore ideas and problems and being able to make suggestions does not preclude any commissioner in any area from not making suggestions and basically not having input in what's happening.
And I don't mind taking recreation if you don't think it needs, I know some people think it's with tourism, but I don't care. I don't mind taking it.
Well, not, that,
Elise,
I
have you
think
got
that's what hard
comment?
is to.
Yeah,
Elisa's got a
I was just,
comment.
I don't want to interrupt anybody. I agree, you can talk to other departments, but what this resolution in fact does is say, Bill, you are the final say when it comes to
Yeah.
the Soil Conservation
Okay.
District. So, because you can see how lines can get blurred and people can start
Yeah,
stepping on other
I
people's
think it
feet.
says that the other commissioners can't make a decision without me in the loop because I
Yeah,
have no final
and I
say.
agree with that,
But it don't say we can't talk to them or something like that. Like, what I don't want to do, I think it's bad public relations, and it's terrible if someone in our county calls me about a problem, and I say, well, I'm not in charge of maintenance, you need to call Commissioner Lyman. I don't think that serves our county well. I think if they call me on an issue, I have a responsibility to follow through and contact one of you, if it's not mine, and get your input. For me to say, oh, don't call me, call somebody else, I think our citizens deserve more than that. So we need to be free if someone calls us and asks us a question, to be able to discuss that with them. Not make a decision, you're not the first, but to discuss it with them. And
Yeah, that's fine.
that's the only thing I say.
do you want me to take rec?
Well, it's hard, because they do go tourism too, so it's just,
Yeah, it's hard to distinguish between a lot of these because they're interconnected.
but I guess maybe the question is, does maintenance and rec go better together than rec and tourism?
Because I don't mind taking recreation.
Rachel, Kevin, you guys got thoughts?
This has been, we've talked about this a long time, about, it would be nice if rec and maintenance, and those are answered to one commissioner. Because you do something, and then you gotta get two commissioners involved and stuff, so at times it's really nice, it would be nicer if it was one person overseeing those.
And you think that would be better than worrying about it being tied to tourism?
No, he wants it all together. rec, maintenance, and tourism altogether.
Because anything I do, I have to call maintenance. Or Trevor, you're just getting everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to put on one.
Well, you could have a wellness committee, museum, Miss Millard, Justice Court, Housing Authority, and the Chamber of Commerce.
I know you mentioned something about the Housing Authority. Do you want me to take that?
If you want to.
I can take it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Who's the
take,
Housing Authority?
I'll
Yeah,
take the
Switch
Housing
Housing
Authority.
Authority to Commissioner Lyman.
Okay, what about maintenance? We're giving that to
I don't know where we're at on maintenance.
So do you want maintenance? It's up to you.
Let's try putting it all together. Let's see how it works, and if it doesn't,
If it's too much, then I'll take it, but maintenance
yeah,
back.
we'll change it. Because I do think they'll work better together.
So you're putting maintenance with?
With
rec
recreation and,
And tourism?
and I'm going to take the Housing Authority.
Oh. You want to take the Justice Court as well? You're on something with the
Yeah, I can take the Justice Court.
Criminal Justice Court,
Did you get that?
Coordinated Council?
Yep, I'll take Justice Court.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest that Marky go through and write us up a clean list, and that, put it on the agenda next time for final approval. So you have it. You can look at it, and we can still change, just get a final approval, think about it. If we need to make a change, we've got several here now, and it's gonna be hard to
Yeah.
look at it. So Marky, if you'd do that, that's, okay, that's what I'd suggest, okay?
Okay.
So move this resolution to next time?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
either way.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All righty. 10:15 disclosure statements.
So, in addition to the disclosures that, the conflict disclosures that have always been required, by any county employee, HB 80 passed, in May of last year, which requires a new form, which we titled it
16A-13.
1716A-13. That is required by all elected officials, all department heads, and all appointed employees. The thing with this one is it has to be disclosed in an open meeting, and it cannot be filed before January 1st and no later than January 31st. But because it's due in an open meeting, the last commission meeting is the 21st of January. So those are due to me no later than 9 a.m. on January 21st. Failure to file that is, may result into criminal penalty and a fine. So just any department heads, elected officials, or appointed employees, just make sure you get those to me. I did send out an email that explained it. There's a memo that goes along with it to help you file whatever disclosure. In addition to the 13, if you have anything to disclose, any conflicts to disclose, you would disclose those in another form as well. If you have no conflicts, then on the -13 one, you just simply list them. Did I miss anything?
Nope, that's a fair overview.
Okay. So I did send that email out prior to today's meeting, and I did receive some back, so just for the record. Thank you. Okay, so for the record, those who filed the one ending in 13, Split Penny with maintenance, Marky Roby, the clerk, Casey Fowles with Golf Course, Andrew Meinhardt with the Delta Office, Laura Fitch, the Assessor, Vicki Bennett with the Auditor's Office, Bonnie Smith with the Auditor's Office, and then in addition to 13 other disclosures that were filed by employees, were Bonnie Smith, Vicki Lyman, Clint Kenny, myself, Marky Rowley, and John Higgins. So if all other elected officials, department heads, and appointed employees, please make sure to get me the 13, no later than the 21st at 9 a.m. And then all disclosures, conflict disclosures outside of the 13 can be filed as those conflicts come into light all through the year. So the 13 is the only one that is taxed on criminal penalty and fine. So. Anything else, Lee?
I will just add that if you have an interest in a business entity regulated by the county, that is supposed to be provided every January as well, in addition to Form 13.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 1020 agenda item, ratify the motion to approve application number Z-2024-042, requesting a change the zoning of approximately 16.79 acres of property located at approximately 300 West, 100 South Scipio from agricultural 20 to residential. Joseph Barlow, applicant. We talked about this last time, right?
This is zoning change. We had a public hearing on it last time, so I guess we just need to,
Just ratify
we
it.
didn't have everything. So unless there's no other comments, I would move that we ratify a motion to approve application number Z-2024-042.
And that was adopted by ordinance 2412-17A.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve application number Z-2024-042, requesting to change the zoning of approximately 16.79 acres of property located at approximately 300 West, 100 South Scipio from agricultural 20 to residential R1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next. Ratify the motion to approve a purchasing card for Attorney Harris. Bonnie, do you have the amount? I guess we probably need the amount, don't we?
So it was already approved last time for
Okay.
$5,000, so we just need it ratified.
Okay.
She signed the agreement and it's been ordered.
I make a motion to ratify purchasing card for Attorney Harris.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchasing card for Attorney Harris for $5,000. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, next, ratify the motion to accept the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity Rural County Grant.
I ratify a motion to accept the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity Rural County Grant.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity Rural County Grant. All in favor, say aye.
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 I have a question, Evelyn. We had a few bumps in application for that, or they? I'm assuming we got the bumps worked out.
Yeah, and I think Commissioner Lyman, you signed it and sent it back.
Okay, all right.
We're good.
I've not received the, sorry, on the governor's economic, the grant, I haven't received the sign one back. I sent it to, Stuart Clayson.
Stuart.
Have you received a signed copy?
I don't think we've received that, but I think it said it was coming in the last email. I saw that.
Okay. That should be.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the 1025 agenda item, discussion and possible approval of tourism purchasing an enclosed side-by-side trailer in the amount of $12,000. You don't have a chair, do you?
That's fine, I can stand. Rachel West, Tourism Director.
Pull your mic down so I can hear you. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so we have a side-by-side in Delta that is on a flatbed trailer right now. We've tried covering it in tarps and things like that, and of course, every winter, the tarps break and all that things. So we would like to purchase a fully enclosed trailer so we can maintain the integrity of the side-by-side and keep it nice for continuous tourism use.
Any discussion?
So, we've got trailers to haul it, right? So it's just a matter of enclosing it in the weather. And we don't have sheds anywhere.
I barely have anywhere to put anything anyways.
Well, like even like, not a tourism shed, but just maintenance or rec or anybody doesn't have a place to put it.
No, we're looking at trying to find us a Connex of some sort to be able to put all of our stuff in. But right now, we don't have any shed anywhere to be able to put stuff.
Okay.
There's Kalen Taylor Extension and sometimes Weed Department. The Weed Department does have, there's some space in a shed there. They used to have these 2 big trailers, like spray trailers, and I think they've been on the surplus list for a while, but that's cleared up some space inside of the actual shed, so you might be able to park it there. I don't know how out of the way, or I don't know where it is currently, so I don't know how that'd work exactly, but there is some space. And they're not in there, through the whole winter and stuff, so to just be sitting in there.
Do they use it in the summertime?
Yeah, I mean, they use the building, but there's still be enough space to park a side-by-side in it, even when they've got like full on with their chemical and stuff like that, there should still be enough space to park
That
the
is a pretty
side-by-side.
nice building. It's right by the road department building there, if you haven't been in.
Yeah, just,
It's a nice big building. It's
Yeah.
got several pieces of equipment. I don't know whether you've considered that alternative. Or where you
Well, every
want
time
to
we've
go.
asked anybody for any locations, it's
It's
always
not
been, sorry,
too
we don't
far
have
away.
room.
It's only 4 or 5 blocks away from.
Yeah,
right
just an
now, of
option.
course, it's
Do you
parked
usually
in-
park it there by the county building over there?
It is parked in the Delta Sheriff Posse.
It's at the county office.
Oh, it's at the
It's
county
a
office,
county
that's right.
office.
Office building.
That's where I see it all the
Yes.
time.
That's
at the
where, is
county.
that where you usually keep it, Kevin? Is that?
You had it in the sheriff's
Posse.
posse.
We had it in maintenance. Maintenance asked us to, they needed more room, so we took it. So now it's parked at the county building for right now.
Is that building an option you'd consider or not?
I'm like,
Could be.
Do you want to look at it and we can postpone this and if that will be adequate or not for you out there?
I would say just maybe go look at it and see if that's an option for you. It's not real inconvenient. It's pretty close. And I guess just make sure you get access in and out. It's a nice building. Keep it clean and nice and, for the winter, when you're not using it, it would protect it.
okay. Sounds good.
Let's at least look into it, maybe even try it for a couple months. If we don't like it, let's
Yeah.
come back, because if we can save $12,000, let's try and,
And I did ask Brian Kinsey at Prime Power Sports, so it would be lower than that price. We guessed high, just in
Okay.
case, because we put it on the agenda before. So it would be lower than that, but
okay. Because you'd probably still use the other trailers to haul more often, I'm assuming?
no, we we have 2 side-by-sides, correct? One is here in Fillmore, one is in Delta. This one in Fillmore is a fully enclosed, and we use that all the time frequently for it, to tow it,
It's in an enclosed trailer? That's just how you store it? Is it in an enclosed trailer?
Yep,
already?
and that's how we tow it, that's how we do everything with it. We throw everything we need inside there with it. If we ever go to like the outdoor expo, it all fits all inside the enclosed trailer. A little bit nicer to haul, things like that, rather than just the open flatbed. And with also having the enclosed trailer, when we go out to the West Desert and we have to spend the night, the one that Brian has is able to sleep in it because it has a window. So we can use that as well as, instead of having to haul more things. So there is more dual purpose too.
Okay. Let's look at the building first before we make a decision and see if it's something we could make work.
Okay.
With the weed department, and then come back if we need to.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, discussion and possible awarding of RFP for the tourism billboard. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
So in all my years of working for the county, I think this has been the hardest thing for me to kind of come to grips of what we're going to do, just because of the discrepancy in cost and doing it as a proposal, which I think is a good thing, but I spent about 80 hours researching and calling and trying to come up with what was going to be the best solution for Millard County. So what I give you gives the pros and cons of two of the boards. The one board we kind of eliminated because there's no tie to Utah. The manufacturer is out of state, the person putting it in is out of state, where both these others have reps in Utah and are being used by Utah companies to do the structure.
That's the two you have listed here?
Yes.
Or they're both in Utah?
Yep. So to start with, if you look halfway down the page on Watchfire, it shows 331. Their bid that they turned in was actually 364, 209. But in going through the proposals with them and come to find out, and I didn't know this at the time, but for billboards, they have what they call off-site boards and on-site boards. An off-site board is one that is used to sell ads. So it's in a specific location, but everything that's being promoted is off-site. The other one is called an on-site, which would be what ours would be, basically is promoting one thing only, or events, whatever, but it's not promoting anything else and selling no ads. So there's a difference in the
One thing only is, can you use varieties in tourism, or you only, explain what one thing only is?
So we can only promote tourism on that board rather than being like, we're promoting something for Salt Lake County. We're promoting something for Washington
Like you
County.
can sell an ad to somebody here in town or somebody
We
like
can't sell any ads.
We can't sell any ads,
Okay,
which is, we don't want to sell ads anyways.
yeah, okay.
And so that comes with
But
the
you can
difference.
put all the activities here.
Yeah, we can put activities, all the museums, we can promote anything.
Okay, yeah, that's,
Anything countywide, we can promote.
all right. You just can't use it for a commercial.
Yeah.
A commercial venture, like.
Yep.
So
owner
why
renters
is
or
it
something.
cheaper if it's just one purpose? Is it because they don't have to do as much programming, or?
A lot of it is the programming, and then just the permitting is different, so it ends up being substantially less for what they call off-site.
So that's the difference between 364 and 361?
Yeah, so it was
331.
32,314 less.
Yeah, okay.
But there's still a lot, that's still at 85,000 more than
More than the other
low
one.
bid. So we went through, looked at it, Rachel and I spent some time trying to figure out, okay, how's it rated so the next 2 pages on there are the people I talked to and their responses. So I did talk to the 3 different people that bid to make sure we're trying to bid apples to apples. And then I did call Reagan Outdoor Advertising, Yesco, which is Young Outdoor Advertising, Compass Outdoor, and Saunders Outdoor. they're the four major billboard companies all up and down the freeway.
So you've read all this. Is there any reason we shouldn't take the low bid?
The only difference is, you look at the deals is longevity. The longest media resource billboard, which is the low one, has been 7 years, and they've had to be replaced.
Like the entire board
Yeah.
replaced.
So that's $250,000 every 7 years?
Is that included in the 10-year warranty?
What's that?
Is that included in the warranty?
Did he respond to our email yesterday?
Yeah, they won't replace the board, they'll replace everything in it, but most of these they have a lifespan. And so they did not replace those boards, the company had to. Since then, Media Resource has revamped, changed completely. Their new boards have been out 3 years is all.
I see they got a 10-year warranty.
Yeah, but there is a 10-year warranty.
Yeah, okay.
So, and it says on parts, so parts, the whole billboard isn't considered parts. So they would replace parts to try to get it to go.
Okay.
How about the service? We have to pay for the
So
labor?
so with Media Resource, they have no tech support in the state. So Yesco is their person that will cover that. They have a 1-year service warranty that goes with it. So within that first year, they would pay for all service. Anything after that, if we bring a truck down from Salt Lake, will cost us. And I told Rachel this, that in my mind, I can justify watch fire, but in my heart, I go,
Okay.
85,000 is a lot of money, and
Yeah, it is.
it's a gamble either way. It's
Is
like
their
anything.
warranty about the same and replacement? It's similar?
Watch fire 7 years, Media Resources 10 years.
Okay.
But when we talked to all the other big billboard companies, they said they didn't have to replace their boards, Watchfire's boards, for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So we would
So
get.
none of them have been less than 10 years.
They do have a local rep person, so it would be their person coming out. So
What kind of maintenance would we have with a rep coming that wouldn't be covered by the warranty? I mean, if they got a warranty and they're covering it, if they're not here, maybe time frame or something, but what, is there anything that wouldn't be covered that we would have an expense that wouldn't be covered by the warranty?
well, I'm sure.
Shouldn't.
So there shouldn't be, so whether they're here someplace else, financially shouldn't matter to us, other than they won't be as fast, probably, I don't know. Okay,
And I've tried to sit down and put things in paper going, okay, if it breaks, if they have to come once a year, here's what it's gonna cost. You can't financially justify that difference.
what about timeframes to get these completed? Did you consider?
They can all do it in 90 days.
They can all do it in 90 days, so
Yeah.
we're all the same there.
Yeah. The only one big drawback is with Media Resource is everything is brought out of China. And so pricing can change, right, if we get locked in and stuff, and in their deal, it talks about tariffs. If things happen to change, the price is gonna go up. Everything else is built, all the LEDs, everything on the other two companies are built in the United States.
Well, it seems the resources and it's technology that's moving fast with either one. There's probably, in the next 10 years, look where we come in the last 10, there's probably going to be a lot of changes.
There will
in
be.
what we
Yeah,
think or what they say. So I guess it's the one you have, should we pay more if we got more confidence? Or if we don't have no more confidence, we probably shouldn't pay more? Because both of them's probably going to have changes. I mean, if one of them has changes, the other one's going to have changes. They're the same product. and
It
so-
is.
Well, I'm glad that Media Resources actually improved their billboards.
Yeah, they have. And on this, if you look down at the bottom of the cons on Media Resources, it says it's a 20 millimeter. That's the distance between each of the LEDs is 20 millimeter. Watchfire bid a 16. And they did that because in Fillmore, the height restriction on a billboard is 25 feet. You get up north, it's 40 feet, and in around buildings, they go 60 feet. So that, when you go off the side of the freeway and get down, you're almost looking directly at the billboard. on the-
Yeah, it's not up as high.
And so they recommended, and this come from Yesco, that we go to a 16, just because when you're looking at an angle, the resolution's different than looking at it straight on. So it gives you more light bulbs in a smaller area on the 16 millimeter. So I did get with Media Resources. It would increase their bid from 246, to be about 11,000 more to change theirs to a 16 millimeter. So we're still quite a bit under the,
Still quite a bit under the
Yeah.
other one, so.
and that way we would
With
be.
the same thing, we're comparing apples to apples
Yeah.
now.
So, real quick, the Media Resources billboard, its longevity is 7 years, or they've improved them so they should last longer?
Well, we don't know that, though.
Yeah, it hasn't been out there, it's only been out 3 years.
Because if we're going over 20 years, off what, I'm looking at this paper, Media Resources is gonna cost us $838,000 over 20 years. While Watchfire billboard will only cost us $662,000 over 20 years, which is a $250,000 savings over 20 years.
Which isn't exactly right? Because this proposal includes not only the billboards, but also the structure upon which the billboards
It does.
sit. So there is a breakdown in cost there as well. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, and so when it comes to, when they talk about 10 years having to reface them,
Yeah,
that's substantially less than purchasing the billboard now.
yeah,
Because you're just replacing the structures there, the frames are there.
yeah.
All you
But-
do
but
is
still,
pop
the-
them in, pop them
The theory
out.
should be the same though, right? That, yeah, it might not be the whole $246,000, but if it's cheaper and I'm still having to replace it every 7 years, so I've replaced that board 3 times in 20 years compared to twice in 20 years.
But
Do you-
see-
do you end up saving money still in the long run?
If it failed at 7 years.
Yes, if it fails at 7.
They're built for that 10-year, that's what the diode life is. And that's the thing that fails, is when they start going out.
Yeah,
It's just like a light bulb here, you know, they're only for so many light hours or whatever you call it.
yeah.
And so that's what fails, is when those goes out. But
But it does have a
in all
10-year
reality,
warranty.
Media Resources should be 10 years. They should be equal.
Yeah, if they've improved them, and they were lasting 7 years before, and they've made improvements on that, hopefully they'll last closer
Yeah.
to 10.
Well, there's a warranty, they will,
Yeah.
so they must have some confidence before they would issue a warranty on them.
So do we want to, if we go with Media Resources, do we want to go with the 16 millimeter?
We both think
Yeah,
it would be
like
better.
personally, yes, we do think that would be a better option. The bulbs are closer together. It would give a more crisper image, so it doesn't look so fuzzy and blurry with it being farther apart.
Yeah, you definitely want good resolution.
Yeah. You got any other questions on them? And
No, who's over tourism, tell us what to do.
I'm leaning towards going with Media Resource and just going with the 16 millimeter so the resolution's better.
Yeah, if he said he'd change it, that would up the price $11,000. I think you guys are as comfortable, I mean, right now, who knows, but,
And-
yeah, I think that's where we're more comfortable now.
And just as a reminder, you're approving the proposal, and then your action could be, we approve subject to successful negotiations, but you don't want to get into a situation where you're negotiating that beforehand and assuming you're going to get something before you approve it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Have you already talked to them about the 16? Well, they've already given you a price, you must have.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did.
That's one of the differences, but. Well, I would suggest we go with media resources. I think Kevin and Rachel said like us, we really don't know, but that, they're comfortable enough with it. They're not uncomfortable enough to spend the extra money to.
I think either choice would be a great choice. My only hesitation with the one that's a little lower price is where they get their stuff. Like, it's not
Yeah.
in America, so do we have do we have waiter times? Do we have higher tariffs? Are we going to be able to get those parts? Things like that's where I'm hesitant. But like I said, either is a
And
good option.
are we positive, like, if you talked about that all their stuff is in America? See, we don't know, we probably don't know where their stuff's coming
Yeah,
from.
all the electronics is coming from out of the country.
Yeah, that's what
You know,
I'm thinking.
everything
for
else
both
is,
of them.
so it's shipped to Canada, built in Canada,
Yeah,
and then sent to the United States, so.
Well, isn't Canada going to become our 51st state? Just kidding.
Eventually.
Those of you that are from Canada.
But with the difference, there's no reason why we probably couldn't buy, you know. Of course, they'll cover all the parts 100% up to 10 years,
yeah.
so.
I'm just wondering
gonna-
if in 10 years there's something new and better that we might want to switch to anyway, but who knows?
If I had, could read the future, I would tell you, but.
How much more does the software cost? So on your pros with Watchfire, it says software provided and service tech on site.
Yeah, so that
Is that
might be,
gonna be, is that
that might
gonna
be
be an
just,
added cost to the media resources?
so Media Resources gives you a basic content software. The only difference really with the other software is it gives you more options to edit photos, and that really falls into when you're doing the ads and somebody wants to do something really fancy and stuff. Well, the one with Media Resources allows us to alter photos to a certain point, but then we can buy a small software program if we want to enhance stuff after that.
Okay.
But it does come with everything that we can put stuff on the board.
So you guys are comfortable with either company?
Yeah,
So who put the one up in Juab County?
the one where?
In
Juab?
County.
Okay, that's a Daktronics,
That's a whole different,
yeah.
That was our
That's the one
other
that's the other bid.
That was the other
well,
bid.
that was the other bid, which
Yeah.
was like, whoa. Well, if
And-
you're comfortable, I move that we proceed with Media Resources.
Okay,
And you're approving it conditioned upon successful negotiations
okay,
and
yes.
coming to an agreement?
yeah.
And can we add that they have, current general contractor licensing and business license?
Oh, because we don't have that yet?
No.
Okay, yeah, obviously conditioned upon
Yeah, and
a finding that they have
subject
insurance.
to condition
Yeah.
of your negotiations. And
Yeah, I think that would be part of the negotiation and overall agreement, so, okay, make sure.
Yeah, and
we have
we've talked to them all about it. And then also the stamped drawing.
Stamped drawing.
We want to make sure that that's
Right.
certified.
So what
They're
was
supposed
the
to
bid
provide that
on,
within about 30 days,
Yeah.
right?
so
And
what
all of them
was
said they
the
can do it in
bid
2 weeks.
on the other one? Was it a half mil, how much was it?
On Daktronics?
Yeah,
They were
Remind me.
332.
okay, well, that isn't that much more then than Watchfire. right?
No.
Okay, all right. All right,
And when we looked, Watchfire was like the #1 billboard company, Daktronics was #2, and the marketing media was #3 in the nation. So,
So they're all reputable
They're all-
companies.
they're all
yeah.
reputable, okay.
yeah.
You have a motion?
I second Bill's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to, do we accept this bid and upon
Subject
successful
upon,
negotiations?
yeah.
Is that how we want to word it? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, then once we negotiate with them, do we have to bring that back?
Yeah, because it's gonna be
Meter
by
resources.
agreement.
Okay.
So the chair is gonna have to sign that agreement, and they're gonna have to approve it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
thanks.
Thank you. Okay, 10:30 agenda item, discussion and possible approval of an agreement for a loan from Millard County to Deseret Hinckley Cemetery District, which shall include a term not to exceed 5 years, a loan amount of $25,000 with interest at the current PTIF interest rate, and annual installments paid from the cemeteries district's annual tax distributions.
So the Deseret Hinckley Cemetery District, I met with them back in October, November, and they've really gotten to a point where a lot of their buildings and their equipment have been ran down, getting old, needs to be replaced at both cemeteries. And they worked hard and were able to come up with some money. They got a grant from one of the local businesses to fix up one of the cemetery's shed building. But they wanted to, at the same time, do one at the other cemetery. So they came to the county and said, hey, is there anything you can do? And we said would see what we can do. We'd be more than happy to help them out. So they asked for a loan of $25,000 so they could do update both cemeteries at the same time, and have agreed to repay that over 5 years at the PTIF interest rate, to come out of the money that the county pays them every year. What do you
They
call it?
collect from their special service
Yeah,
district.
we'll collect from their special service district. They're not gonna be writing a check. We're not gonna be asking them for the money. We'll just be taking it right out of their special service district account, starting in 2026. They're happy with it, but they're using it to build a building, possibly move some power lines if needed, and then just re-gravel from the construction area. And anything that's not used will come back to the county, and then they'll just pay on whatever's left over.
So Trevor, a question I have, they are a special service district. They have the same ability that we do as a county to raise money. Are they objecting to them raising their price
No,
for
they
special
just,
service?
they need to get this done before they can, and they're
Okay.
actually looking at increasing it next year.
I would support the concept that we have some shared help, some benefit, if we're just, because I get all the calls because our taxes are high, and then then we share that with those that have the same ability to do what I do, and so I would approve it on the condition that they have some commitment that they're gonna raise their special service district funds. If they don't intend to do that, then
No, they do it, and we had a long conversation about
I'm
this.
sure you probably
and-
did.
And this,
And I realize they probably can't do it quickly, so I'm willing to extend, but at some point in time, they need to put a good faith effort, because
No.
they have the same ability we do, but it takes time.
so nobody on this board knows the last time they went through the truth and taxation process. It's been long enough. Currently, they can barely afford to pay the people to mow the lawn
Yeah.
because they haven't done it in so long, so they know that they have to do that this year, and they thought, well, we'll do this at the same time and try and recoup some money to get it paid off within the 5 years, because they're gonna go through that process anyways. So they're already planning on it. There's nothing that needs to be talked any further about.
So they're willing to go through the process then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And honestly, they tried to go through it this year, but they didn't get the paperwork done until after
No,
October.
I know
1st.
it's not easy to do, you just
No.
can't do it.
No, so
So
they-
like I say, I think we need a good faith effort from them to say, we will do, and I think it's good faith effort enough to say, we'll give you this, you can get started tomorrow.
Yeah,
Because with truth and taxation, you're not gonna get, once you initiate it, it's a whole year before you get the taxes.
Yeah.
I understand that, but we just need a good faith effort
Yeah.
from them.
No,
I
I-
understand that they're gonna, and obviously, we got evidence that their operating expenses hasn't worked, so they're gonna need it for the future anyway, not only to
Yeah.
pay back the loan, but to do what they want to do.
yeah. So, and we have a lot of great boards in Millard County, but the chair of this board and the members of this board are probably some I trust more than about any of the other ones. They're just really good, and I'm not worried about that at all. And like I said, they did try this year, but it was just late, and they're
Okay.
committed to doing it this year.
So I'm good, as long as we got some commitment from them to do it.
Yeah, no, they'll do it. I know they'll do it.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion.
I would move that we, what do we need to hear, that we loan the Hinckley Cemetery District. Bonnie, what would be the appropriate level of interest? What would we expect?
Was it 4.49?
It's right on the,
I saw it
Is it on there?
somewhere.
somewhere.
Is there,
4.47,
okay,
okay. I knew it was on that email you sent
that
us.
we do it for not to exceed 5 years, and in that we need a good faith effort, that they will start the process of whatever they need, truth and taxation. They would get, who can help them do that? The treasurer or Bonnie?
So
Bonnie.
they've provided one.
Okay, all right. And they proceed with that, and so I'm good.
Yeah, there's a requirement to notify my office, so I will work with them.
Okay,
Yeah, and Bonnie has talked to a couple of their people,
All
he's
right.
one of them, so.
Yep.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve an agreement for a loan from Millard County to the Deseret Hinckley Cemetery District, which shall include a term not to exceed 5 years, a loan amount of $25,000 with the interest at the current PTIF interest rate, which is 4.74, and annual installments will be paid from the cemetery's district's annual tax distributions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, 10:35 agenda item, discussion and possible approval of the road department's purchasing a truck that wasn't the lowest bid received. I think Brandon gave you guys a copy of this. The reason that, I don't know if Brandon, is he still here? I guess not. Anyway, the reason he wants to go with this one is because they can get the truck really soon. Otherwise, they're going to have to wait like 6 months. But also, I was impressed because I think it was Jacob got some bids also from up north, and these local ones were cheaper, so that was nice.
Yeah, we're looking over 6 months on that lowest bid one, and so the other ones can get them to us now. So, and it's just for replacing a heavy-duty vehicle that we're going to pass down to the landfill and then surplus one of the landfill trucks that has 300,000 miles on it. So that's the status of how that vehicle will work.
So thank you, but what, these, we should be able to get these, like this is evidence, these trucks, if we would prefer local. Sometimes maybe they can't get them in line, but there's no, the commissions on these trucks for the dealers is set by the state. So when there's a difference in price, I don't know what, because there's, the dealers down here cannot charge more. They run them through them, but we get state pricing, which is the same, and the state pays them their commission. They can't decide, well, I want a little more. I'll give you state pricing and 10%, in other words, state pricing, hey, because the state.
The truck you're getting is a local truck.
Yeah, the prices should be the very same.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're building more in, and
Yeah,
unless it's a different, of course, you can do that easy one of them has green and one of them has red, and so it's different price. So you can do that.
Are you sure the state actually controls how much they can make?
The state gives
These are
them, I've asked them, I
state.
says, so how do you guys, and the state controls, if they sell you a truck by the bid, the state controls how much they take. Not, they don't get discretion of, I'm gonna charge 5%, 10%. The state controls, they give them a fee for doing that.
Yeah, for the state pricing.
Yeah, the state pricing, that fee is in there, and the state rebates it to them. Obviously, they're doing some work, so it pretty much puts them all on the same level.
So are these state pricing prices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the difference between these is they're different models. One
So-
of them's a Ford, one of them's a Chev, which is gonna make
So,
a
so
discretion.
the ones up north are state pricing bids. One of them, the lowest bid was a state pricing bid, but they can't get us a truck for 6 months. So the local dealer is not the state pricing bid, but it's the second lowest bid. And so that's why we want to go with it, because we can get it now, and we don't have to wait 6 months to get it. So,
2,500 difference, right?
yeah.
So Dubai's is just flat out beating the state pricing?
Of the other location.
Yeah. That is a state contracted price.
They probably, he's probably got it in the loop in order or something, so he just went back there and found what would fit. and that's
Oh, he
probably-
just wants to help out the county.
Because that particular dealer generally hasn't used state pricing. We haven't bought a lot of vehicles there, and that's why. He says, he's told me, I'm doing something else, I'm not really interested, and so that's probably why it isn't, because he hasn't used state pricing.
And he's actually pretty competitive to the state pricing. Like you said, it's a $2,500 difference.
Yeah, he's probably got it in his
Yeah.
line already is what's happened, and he's been able to kick it out for that, give us what he thought was a pretty good deal.
And it stays local, which is, I think, good.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So, yeah.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase that is not the lowest bid of Dubais Chevrolet for $59,520.93.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Drouvet Chevrolet for $59,520.93 for a Chevy Silverado 3500. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Is that a gas or that's a gas? Is it a diesel?
That's a good price for a diesel.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. 1045 agenda item, USU Extension 2024 report.
Sorry, give me just 1 second when we get this set up, if I can figure out how to use the computer.
Okay, we're going to take a short little break here for a minute while this gets set up.
Can't see all of my numbers, but, did I put it too much? over. If you need to, you can shrink them down a little bit. And that way you can move it over a little bit more. You can really change the font.
got my font?
too, especially on a big one, you might have to change the font because it looks like it's running down. Yeah. And then on the right-hand side, I'd go ahead and shrink that font too. Yeah.
So I don't know what we did here.
There you go, that works.
No, I don't. You just figured it out. I don't know. And if we got something wrong, it isn't a disaster.
My second slide might be because it goes all the way to those two. I didn't realize it was going to do all that.
That's my.
There's maybe a quarter of a million impressions.
Pat was working
I had
on
fun
doing
with
that.
it.
and he never did get it. Ladies, we need to go to all these districts and see what.
People that do this thing.
So, just go through and see. And something you says, even though it don't say in the bylaws,
One guy's like,
to advertise it.
these guys are hot. You don't point them like you do hire them. You pick them.
So at that level.
Yeah, but when their terms up, I think we. I don't know. Just, but it's like the cemetery district, oh, you're gonna be needed. It's kind of an appointment, but you apply, so I told this firm, I said,
So every board,
then you pick it.
so that's,
And I think that's where some of the confusion comes from, because we do appoint them, but we don't volunteer. And that's what's kind of, you pick them.
so I read that.
And they're the only ones that are taught, so they get it. But that's where some people can get really confused. I don't know.
Yeah, that is confusing. I don't know why that is the process. That seems really weird. I'm gonna look it up right now.
If we can, it takes a lot of time to go back and eliminate these boards. You got some, it's not meant for.
Are you ready, Kalen?
You
ready, Bill?
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
All right, we will rejoin our meeting here. We are having a USU Extension 2024 report now.
Okay, yeah, so Kaylin Taylor with Utah State Extension.
Courtney Stevenson with 4-H Utah.
Yeah, we started last year to kind of give just a yearly report of some of the things we've done and some numbers. And we're gonna keep doing that every year, so this is sort of some of what we've accomplished over the year. I wanted to mention Eva Timothy, our family and consumer science faculty member, wasn't able to be here today. She's sick. So I'm going to go over a couple of the numbers that she's put on here, but we'll probably send you the slide so you can take a look, and maybe she'll have an opportunity to talk with you a little bit more about some of her stuff, just because I'm not super involved with everything there. So anyway, we'll have Courtney talk about some 4-H things first, and then I'll cover the rest of our office stuff.
So this looks a little bit different because our year runs from September 1st to August 31st. So the numbers are a little bit different, but Youth enrolled from January to December, we had 298. Currently, from September till now, we have, I think it's 107, 109, something around in there. So we've already got a lot of them. We have 20 adult volunteers. Some of them are just volunteers that they help me drive youth, they help me, get youth here and there. They step in because their kids are running a club for me or whatnot. We have, in 2024, we did 72 clubs, camps, and other events that we had youth at, that was all held in county. That was the most we have ever had, and thanks to the teens for going to be trained for what is called Tri-Team. It's Teens Reaching Youth. They came back and had a lot of camps, even in our smaller communities. They had some in Kanosh and Meadow, Holden, Oak City and stuff, and they had a good turnout with that. We had 250 hours of the teen council. That means the teen council helped some way do some type of service in the county, or they help me with the programming and everything, so that gives them some credit to be able to be leaders and everything. We reached out to places and got grants, stipends, foundations type stuff for $5,594.47. Some of that was local businesses that helped us. Some of it was outside the state, like the NRA and stuff. We had $1,405.55 for in-kind donation, which is people trying to get rid of materials or craft things, and they say, hey, can you 4-H use this? And we take it in and everything. So as you can see, 7,002 cents of our budget last year was not taken from the county. We found other means to be able to bring it in. We've been able to use some of this stuff to improve we're in the process of improving the shotgun range up here at the Fillmore shooting range. Last year, we had NRA give us some some traps, and so we're working with we've got buildings and we was gonna put them in. Well then, because they're metal buildings, we was talking about it, and I had the Millard County, Fish and Wildlife, what is it, the one club that does it, the Sportsmen's for Fish and Wildlife. They approached me and said, hey, can we help you with this? So they're gonna put concrete buildings up there to protect these traps and everything. So again, we'll be able to further educate our children of how to, for the safety of the shooting and everything. We've been able to secure the funds through IPP to do a chairlift at the Armory, and we have successfully moved our 4-H room from the indoor arena to the Armory. We're still kind of doing last minute touches, trying to clean it up and everything, but that was done in December. And
Is the
then
chairlift finished yet, or?
the chairlift is in, yes.
Okay.
Yes, everything is there. We will have 2 remotes, and I've got to figure out how to place the one remote downstairs because we're leaving the chair at the top, so hopefully it's less likely for kids to play with it. Brendan has started putting like little things in front of the walkway there to try to prevent them from going through. We're continuing to reach out to the community partners and find ways that we can partner up with people and the community and try to make things better for our youth. We are trying to keep our programmings low or free, and so therefore we can reach more youth and everything. We're trying our best to make sure that it's not a financial burden on the family, especially since nowadays everybody seems like they're struggling a little bit. When we have state events and everything, we have gotten funds. Tractor Supply does a week-long where they raise money, and then it's twice a year in the spring and the fall, and then if somebody, say, rounds up the dollar, whatever, the change, that money ends up coming to us. So it's a 4-H week, they have an FFA week. So we've been able to take those funds and then offer discounts for state events and everything for our youth. So we're really trying to push that we teach them how to be leaders, we teach them how to do pretty much anything from the agriculture to the cooking to, the rest of the homemaking, all the way to just STEM and being able to work in a lot of different aspects. I'm reaching out to different people to teach different avenues for these kids so that they have the means and it's not just sports and everything. So, thank you. Oh, this is my impact report. All the numbers went up except for my confidence, character, and connection. They was all down just a bit. I mean, when I say a bit, I'm talking like maybe 2 to 5%. But everything else jumped significantly. If you would like to see the numbers from last year versus this year, I would be more than glad to email them to you and everything. The youth are really starting to make an impact, and they're starting to see the connections and everything. So this had made a big impact on everything.
Where do you
Okay.
get these numbers from?
So usually about May to September, we have a QR code that leads us to a survey, and we try to get the kids to survey this. They have to be from like certain ages. And then when they do that, it sends to the state of Utah 4-H, and then they compile these numbers. We didn't have exactly enough numbers that they wanted us to have, so this one is combined from 23 to 24. So I asked them if we could actually get our numbers, get the QR code for like, say, April, because usually by May, we're switching over to camps and everything, and we don't have, the ones that do the clubs and everything aren't necessarily the ones that do the camps. They're a little bit different, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so these are just a few things from EVA's programming. Kind of the big one there at the bottom is the $250,000 in grant funding in last year, and then the $455,000 since 2020. A couple of the other things that I think were big was 73 different classes offered for like physical health and safety over the course of the year last year. And those kind of vary in different things, but she teaches kind of in a lot of different venues and places throughout the county. The Fillmore Elementary School Garden Project, they donated 222 pounds of food that was grown there at the elementary school. And I think that's kind of just a good experience for the kids to be able to, you know, learn about growing things, and then along with that, donating what's harvested. So, and they've done 2,000 pounds, or just over 2,000 pounds of food in the last 3 years. So that's been a good project. And again, there's a lot of other classes and programs and things on here. We'll send you a copy of this. I'm not super familiar with all of these accomplishments because it's not my area. So, but she's sick today. So, and these are just a few more. I think what's on here is kind of explaining some of the different programs and highlights that you're seeing on this first page. Create Better Health. Mariana's our Create Better Health ambassador, and she's, even though we're in a small county, she typically leads the state in classes taught. She's got a really strong partnership with schools in the county, and so, I mean, she teaches every single day. Basically today, before I came over here, she headed out of the office and said I'm headed to Delta North Elementary School. She does a garden project over there as well that I help out with. So, and that's, she's great. She, like I said, she teaches like more classes than anybody else in the state in her position, which is pretty incredible considering the population base that she's working with. So, these are some more of the things that Mariana does, and there's all the food weighed from the Delta North Elementary Garden. And she teaches a lot of special needs classes and adult education classes as well. So, yeah, like I said, I'll send you this so you can take a look. We'll go over some of my statistics for the last year. And if you're wondering why the county's not seeing all this grant funding, we run everything through the university, so that's why. But what we do with it is we run our programs, and then we, like any travel, things like that. I've traveled a lot this last year doing presentations on Millard County programming and making some connections with people and folks, especially with the BLM and the Wild Horse program. And so all that travel funding comes through the university instead of coming out of our county budget. So I can use county budget to do things here. It's a little bit like trying to serve two masters in a way, because you've got the university on one side and the county on the other, and they have a little bit different needs, a little bit different, I guess, focuses for some things, but hopefully we do a decent job of getting them to work together at the same time. So I've got 20 acres of trials planted for next growing season. The focus of that has been dry land. So I've got some pictures on the next slide, but the last 2 years we've grown dry land variety trials at there's a dry land research station in Levan. So I've been helping out with that. And then from those variety trials, I've now got some things planted here in Millard County, so we can do a field day next year and take a look at those. There's a lot of interest in that. I think we have a lot of underutilized dry land space where there's places we could produce more forage with less water, but we don't always take advantage of those, and it's difficult. It's hard to grow things without water. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We did 21 local extension workshops in 2024, from crop schools, pruning classes, garden classes, whatever it may be. And then the Gopher Abatement Program, which is through our soil conservation districts. We've paid out over $10,000 locally over the last 3 years. And that's where kids will trap gophers or raccoons and bring them in, and we pay them out for the tails that they bring into us. And then, mostly due to the grant funding, I was able to present at a state or national level 6 times last year. And it's just, well, actually travel's really good and really bad, because it's fun to have someone call you and ask you to present somewhere, but then you realize you have to travel every time you do it, and that gets old sometimes. So, and then just a couple days ago, we were able to put some GPS tags out on some sheep, and we've got some that are going to go out on cattle that graze out in the West Desert. The BLM's funded this program and project, and so on the sulfur HMA, which a lot of it's in Beaver County, some of it's in Millard County, they pulled like 400 horses off of that this past year. There's a lot of horses out there still, but like 40 of them they were able to give fertility treatment to, and then place GPS collars on them, which I don't know if you've worked with the BLM or the horse program. There's a lot of red tape to get through in order to do things like that. So it's been great to have the BLM kind of as a partner in that. It makes it a lot easier to go through their processes when you've got them kind of on your side. But they placed 40 horses back out there with GPS on them, and then we've been working with the DWR. So last year we collared pronghorn and mule deer in the same area, and then we've now got these GPS tags on livestock. And the goal is to kind of make a heat map and just look at when they're using the landscape in different areas and how they're using it. Because the whole wild horse issue gets really contentious on all sides. But it's hard when we don't have a lot of like hard data showing how these different things interact. You can talk to any rancher and he'll tell you that there's horses on his allotment, but we don't have any numbers to place to that for like how much time or what the utilization looks like. So that's kind of what we're trying to look at. And then the DWR was happy to join in and provide some collars and data for wildlife as well.
So did they put collars on the horses also?
Yep. So those 40 mares that got fertility treatment got re-released, also got GPS collars. So yeah, it's going to be a good project, I think. So there's just a couple pictures here. The one on your top left this is from the Dryland farm in Levan, and that middle picture from the aerial view, that's the dryland varieties as well. So that's, last year, we grew alfalfa and sainfoin, and we actually yielded like 3 tons of the acre dryland on our sainfoin, and it came back with like a 14% protein rate, which is great. That's a huge yield for no water, and obviously we had a good water year. So we'll be, especially if our weather holds out like the way it is, be interesting to look at this coming year, what we're at. And then this tagging is it's actually a producer in Spring City, but he runs his sheep out on the West Desert here in Millard County. And those are, that little ear tag you can see on that bottom right, that's the GPS, and it's got a little solar panel on it, and those will run for like 3 years. So they're pretty cool. And then this bottom right picture was, I was working with the DWR and got to go out and band some ducks out at Clear Lake, so it was just kind of a fun project to work on as well. This top right is one of the trips I was able to go on, was looking at some production agriculture. This is actually down in Guatemala, but they've got like high tunnel programs where they're growing a lot of fresh food and stuff like that down there. So been able to do a lot of great things and hopefully share some information with the county. It's been, I think we've had a good year in extension. We're in one building now, and I think that's gonna help us work together a lot better as a team, as well as help save us quite a bit in our county budget to be able to do some more county programming. So yeah, if you got any questions for us, we don't want to take up too much time, but hopefully that was beneficial to kind of see what we've been doing over the last year.
Looks like you've been doing some good things.
These pictures here, are a lot of them are the 4-H different ones that we had. The top left is from our night out in December when we paired up with the Central Counseling. And then the rest of them are from different clubs that we did and everything that the kids, as you can tell, the kids are all happy and they really enjoy it and everything. So unfortunately, there's only one of them that is from the Delta side because I forget to take pictures. But if you watch our page, we have been trying to get better at putting pictures out and putting stuff in and everything. So it's really good.
Any questions or anything for us?
I don't have any.
Great,
Just keep doing what you're doing.
thanks. We'll keep after it.
And find some positive activities for youth. They lack that today. I know it's hard to get participation, but a lot of value in what you're doing.
We're trying. Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our 11 agenda item. First of all, is public input. Any public input today? Okay, other business. Anybody have other business they need to discuss?
I guess.
Can I do my other business now?
So I had Jake Burnham call me last week, and then I talked to him again this morning. There's a gravel pit in between here and Meadow that he would like to mine. It's county owned. From my understanding, we aren't doing anything with it at this time. They want to pull the gravel out for decorative rock. They're gonna take up to most of Utah County. And he would like to pay us a royalty to use that. And that's kind of, don't know what your guys' thoughts on that would be, or legally what we need to do, Attorney Harris, to be able to make that happen. but we haven't used it for a long time. I wish Brandon was still here because he knows a little bit about it.
We'd probably just need to enter into an agreement with them, which I've been trying to reach out to him to enter into another agreement so we can kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have to, like, advertise that for bids or anything?
It's a good question. Let me look into that.
So we did, when you and I first got in, Vicky, and we could have been in 6 months or so, somebody came and wanted to do the sand, that black sand in between here in Delta. And I don't remember going out for bid. He just came and asked if he could do it.
Is that county land, that sand? Was that county?
I
No,
must
it
be
isn't.
here,
I
else he
think
would
it's
have came and asked
BLM
us.
or something.
Yeah,
Was it
that-
BLM?
Okay.
And maybe he's just
And
getting
he
a
was just
mining
wanting
permit.
to permit, I think.
Yeah.
So the only question we need to do, and yeah, it'd be, well, Brandon was here. Brandon
For procurement.
has more information on those pits. We have several pits as a county, and we just need to talk about inventory and if that decreases. Obviously, our needs in the future, we can only extrapolate so far, but probably if it's not harming our inventory and our needs, I don't know why we couldn't do some contract with.
I think Brandon told me that it's not really high-quality gravel for like roads, but I guess
It
there's an
might not
interest
be.
in it
That's
for
what we need.
decorative.
Yeah.
I guess,
Um,
Trevor, just keep pursuing it.
Okay. So it'd be about, he told me it'd be $2 a ton. We'd get off royalties out for it, and he's estimating anywhere from 20 to 30 ton next year, or this year, that they'd mine off of it. Also, while I was talking to him and just thought about negotiating with him, it would be, putting 300 to 400 ton of sand out to the reservoir. Because they also, they sell sand.
So they'd have to screen the rock. Would they then take the screenings? Would that be sand that they'd haul out to the reservoir?
No, they'd actually give us good quality beach sand
They could get it someplace else that was out of the sand dune.
to.
We got lots of sand dunes around.
Well, apparently this is a little bit more gravelly, a little heavier, so
So
the
it
wind
doesn't
doesn't
blow
blow
away.
it away. Because I thought about the same thing. So he's willing to do that. But then also, if they do sell the tailings from screening out this rock, there's a royalty to that, and that's 30 to 40 cents or something like a ton.
Probably Brandon could give us the best as far as value.
Well, we'll have to find out legally how this has to happen
At
too.
least just said we don't have to put it out for bid or anything, we can.
Yeah, let's talk to Brandon and see what he thinks a fair price is and things like that too.
Okay.
I could talk to him. Any other business? I don't know if this is where this would fit in the best or not, but Stan Lockhart called me and about being a lobby forest still, and he said that he's willing to do it for $3,000 a month and be on retainer. And if nothing comes up that takes a lot of time, that he'd just stay at that instead of charging us the $5,000 that he's been doing previously. What do you guys think about that?
It's hard to determine what issues. I think that we need to keep his interest and be able to, if we get an issue that's gonna take more than, we can basically, because we got more than that in the budget, and that wouldn't use all that. If we got an issue we need to work on, then we'll have the freedom to do that in the future, so I'm good.
You okay? All right. We'll get that contract taken care of then. Okay, next, discussion and possible approval for the sale or transfer of surplus property.
So we have 9 vehicles that we've identified. We have a third-party group that's coming down and doing all of the value assessments on those. After talking with Auditor Smith, we wanted it obviously as arm reach, at arm length as possible, right? And so Brittany Long and her organization have come down. We identified those vehicles. We would like to just begin the surplus process of putting them on the public auction. There is one vehicle that we would like to do. We're going to take the Ford Escape that is currently in IT. We're going to transfer that over to the Delta office, and we're going to surplus their SUV. It's not even roadworthy enough now, and so we're going to do that. But we have 4 ambulances that are all going to go on surplus, and if we get the approval, we'll put those up today. We're also going to get links so that we can post them on the county surplus, so that all the local residents have access to those vehicles. And we'll leave them up for, I think it's a 2-week period of time, and just see what they can get, and then we'll get those out. So we have the Chevy Tahoe that's been down here, the Honda Odyssey from the USU Extension, the Chevy Trailblazers from the Delta office, the Dodge Ram from Tourism, and then the 4 ambulances, and the Ford Escape we're going to transfer to that other one. So if you guys are okay with the reassignment of that vehicle, and then the proceeding for going forward to surplus these other vehicles, we'll get those posted and get those moved out. So,
Do you see any benefit of advertising or telling about those vehicles in the local newspaper?
Maybe we'll post them on the Facebook page.
Okay.
I think that we get more traction, at least we find that we get more traction from our social media pages than the newspaper. Obviously, it's a free charge to do it that way, but we certainly could post them in the local newspaper if we wanted to. I'll talk to Matt, since he's here today, and just see what his thoughts are on that, and then I'll let you know, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Would this put us, are we still need to surplus anymore, or does this put us at all of our vehicles?
No, so obviously with this truck that we've just purchased with the road department, right, it'll move to the landfill, and then there's a couple of vehicles at the landfill that will go. Once the other sheriff trucks come back, the old sheriff's trucks that are getting stripped down, we'll then disseminate those to the appropriate places, and we'll have those vehicles that will need surplusing as well. And so I think we'll just continue this cycle with our new fleet management program, just continue this cycle. What we'd like to get to eventually, right, is that we're moving the vehicles out while they still have value in them, so it's costing us less per year to drive them. And we've kind of started that. So we just bought the new Ford Maverick for the IT manager. That's why we're moving his vehicle. And at the 3-year mark, we'll do an assessment, probably sell it, right? And where we're only then driving vehicles for $1,000 a year, right, versus $7,000 a year if we keep it forever. And so, anyway, there's a fine balance there, but I think that we have a really good program in place, working with this other group. This is what they do professionally, and so I'm just trying to get from them what the best possible use of that vehicle is. So, but yeah, we'll have more this year that we'll need to surplus as those trucks come in. So.
I think we're heading in the right direction. It's taken us a while to get there. You've already mentioned the things that are important. I think that first thing is identify if there's some other needs in the county and keep rotating them through. The next thing is, which you've already talked about, expediting the surplus. They don't need to sit here for 4 years before we decide we're not going to use them.
Yeah.
I mean, this should take 30 days. And we have vehicles that's been in our inventory for 4 years that we haven't did nothing with. And if we could clean that up, that would be great. We just need to expedite the process.
Perfect.
We don't need to store them or have a museum for 4 or 5 years before we decide, oh, we aren't using it. We need to be able to identify that quickly.
Yeah. The nice thing about this group is that they give us a full breakdown of their value assessment, right? I mean, if it's missing a console, they tell us the value of that console, right? And then we can make a really good decision. If we can get $4,000 or $5,000 out of it, it might be worth selling it, right? If we can only get $3,000 out of it and it's going to cost us $30,000 to replace another vehicle, well, it's got 50,000 less miles than the vehicle they have. Let's rotate it over. And so their value assessment is super valuable to us because they're experts in it, right? They see thousands of vehicles, and so they can give us a really good assessment instead of us just doing it or relying upon, the department heads to do it. They don't have the time or some of them the expertise, right? And so it's been a very valuable process for us, so.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay, discussion and possible appointments to various,
I think we need a motion just to approve
Oh.
the reassignment of those vehicles and to move them.
okay.
I move we reassign those vehicles and move them to sale or transfer of surplus property.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve for sale or transfer surplus property that has been identified. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thanks, Jacob. Okay, discussion and possible appointments to various county boards.
So we have a few. We have, up for vacancies, tourism, the Great Basin Heritage House, the Housing Board. I never received any interest on the tourism board. I'm sorry, I have one. You have it? Yeah. Okay. So, how many vacancies were there, just one?
So we only have one vacancy, and we had one person reach out, and I was like, perfect. And that's why we put it on the agenda, being like, I'll come and present them. And then I got another one yesterday. So now I don't know if we need to interview. Or I got one a couple of days ago or something like that. I don't know. But he called me and was like,
So on the vacancy notice, it says, they have until January 17th, so this one can't actually come on yet.
sorry, because I don't know all the process. So I have two people now. Does my tourism board that's already interviewed them first, or do you guys interview them and?
Elise?
I'm gonna have to look. Is there
Okay.
any bylaws for tourism or anything like that?
We should have some, yeah. I'll
Okay,
go
let's
see if I
take a
have.
look at those.
Okay, I'll go look too, because I was like, I don't know if you guys
A lot of
interview them,
times
or-
you guys will actually choose them and we
Then give a
just,
recommendation.
say.
Take the
On most,
recommendation.
I'm looking at your bylaws, the board, you can make the selection, we have to approve your selection. Some of them, actually, like, I think on vacancies on planning and zoning, the commission has to interview them, they make the selection, but most of them, the majority of them, you can make the selection, just send them to us for the approval. So
Okay,
that simplifies it. I mean, we don't have to do all these interviews. You guys can decide. Hopefully, it's that way.
okay.
The only
I'll
one
go
I know
double
that
check.
isn't, that we generally do is planning and zoning.
Okay,
So,
Work with Elise on that.
Okay.
And just know that interviews will be required because you only have one vacancy. and
Yes.
However, it doesn't end until 17th.
no, you're good.
But, so really, you can't close it
Yes.
until the 17th at, noon.
Okay, perfect.
So you have to accept any names
Yes.
after that date, and then, just let me know.
Okay, I'll go look for our bylaws, but yeah, I didn't know that process, because I was like, oh, we only have one, and we're fine, and then I got two, so I was like, oh, now I gotta
I
ask.
think in all your bylaws, it explains it, all these boards, it
Okay.
explains that process.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure the last process was,
That's the commission.
no, was that, like, before me, was the tourism board voted them in, and then I brought it to you to approve.
Just work with Elise, because
Okay.
then she'll help you with state code too.
Okay,
There's
perfect.
some that are required, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then just let me know if we need to put it on the agenda for interviews for
The
commission
21st.
boards and the firms,
Okay, perfect, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rachel.
Okay, and I should read my notices. So the META one doesn't end until the 16th, so again, only until the 21st. Great Basin, she sent me hers. Can't print her notice though. Okay, the Great Basin one can be appointed, that notice, wasn't until the 7th. So Ron Draper was the only one that submitted interest to serve on the Great Basin Heritage Board, and there was only one vacancy to represent him.
So you need a motion on that?
For that one, and then the Housing Authority as well. There were only two names submitted for the Housing Board, it was Valerie House and Pam Fisher. And there were two vacancies and two names, so all three of them may be appointed to each.
I would move that we appoint Ron Draper to the Great Basin Heritage Board.
And Valerie Howes and Pam Fisher to the Housing Authority.
Do you want them all the same motion? Okay, the and the housing board. What's the names? Go ahead.
Valerie House.
And Pam Fisher for Miller County.
For the housing board.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Ron Draper to the Great Basin Heritage Board and Valerie House and Pam Fisher to the Housing Authority Board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, next, possible approval of applications for settlement or deferral of delinquent property tax. None today. Okay, discussion by each commissioner, county attorney, elected official, and secretary.
I don't have anything.
I thought of one more thing. I got an email this morning that mentions that there's a DOT, or there are DOT grants available, and I'm going to check into that, because the one thing I do want to get done is getting a fence put along Highway 257, and I'm going to see if the Department of Transportation would be willing to put some money in towards that. So that's one thing I'm going to be checking out. Okay, next, possible Board of Equalization discussion and/or action.
We just have one.
Okay. Okay, we need to.
I move that we go into BOE.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go into BOE. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
This is just one. It's Kanosh. Is this the vacated one?
Yes.
For the record, it's serial number K1910-A-2. It should be exempt, and so we just need your approval on making that exempt. But I think this was a vacated parcel, right?
I believe it was, so they've been going through cleaning up Kanosh, and when they've been vacating the roads and taking the small parcels, they've been giving them back to whoever the adjacent owner is. That one, when it was turned back, was put in as non-exempt. It's owned by Kanosh Town. We usually catch those. They've paid taxes on it and everything last year, so they didn't flag that either, but they called in December with questions, so.
Is this the one we've been working on? We was working on some other, what's the name on this one?
That's Kanosh Town,
Oh, Kanosh
Yeah.
Camp, okay.
yeah.
You want to go out of BOE?
Yep, I think so.
I would move that we go out of BOE.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go out of BOE and back into a regular commission meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed?
I move that we approve the adjustment. What's that? No, you do it
I'm
after
sorry.
BOE.
Yeah, I think we do it after we come
What's
back
the
out.
question?
We do it after. We close BOE.
And was the motion just that the property is exempt, like Bonnie said? Yeah, make that in BOE and then go out of
Do we
BOE.
better
So we gotta go
into
back in BOE? I move
Okay.
we go back. I move we go back to BOE.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go back into BOE. All in favor, say aye.
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 I would move that we approve the adjustment that's been. prepared.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the exempt adjustment for Kanosh Town on a vacated property. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, now we can go back.
I would move we go out of BOE.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go out of BOE. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next.
Commissioners, I did send you the updated commission duty list. You can look at it now, just to keep moving it to the next meeting.
Let's move it to the next meeting.
Because Bill's not going to be seeing it on his phone anymore.
No, I can't read it.
All right.
I'm good. Let's do what Trevor told us to, okay?
Okay, possible review of county policies and contracts. Anything there? None? Possible closed meeting?
No.
None? No? Okay, guess we are all done with commission meeting. Are we having a work meeting today? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thanks for coming.